Good Monday Matters. I hope you have had a wonderful Sabbath and are looking forward to a great week, enjoying all the things that God has in store for you. My name is Mike Courtney, and every Monday I take a few minutes and talk about something that makes your life happier, healthier, and perhaps a little bit holier. I am grateful for you tuning into this. Someday I'll tell you the story of why I do all of this, but it's just something I feel like I'm supposed to do. And many people have said that they appreciate that they follow, and thank you for that. If you are interested in following, you can hit like and subscribe somewhere. Not 100% sure where. I have a YouTube channel. I think that's at Mike Courtney. I think that's what it is. And then, of course, on Facebook. And there's a blog, branchesblog.com, where I post the text of this that you can read, and then usually post a link to the video as well. And also at the branchesblog.com, you can subscribe to the mailing list so that you receive notice whenever anything is posted. So thank you for doing that, and thanks for being a part of Monday Matters. We're entering the last quarter of the year, last 3 months of the year. And at this time of the year, I always begin thinking about two things: about finishing well, completing those tasks that I started and have not finished, accomplishing the goals that are left undone, and laying the foundation for a good next season of life, whether it's the next quarter, the next year, just a next decade, laying the foundation, putting those things in place in my life that create momentum, so that when I move into the beginning of the year, for example, I'm not saying I'm going to start doing this and I'm starting from scratch. I like to be at a dead run when I'm starting. And so this is the quarter of the year that I really kind of refocus my efforts on the things that I wanted to do to move me to the next level that God has for me, whatever that may be. Most of those things could be classified in that general category that we would call means of grace. The means of grace are those things which God uses to provide His grace to us. One of the great quotes and the great place to study means of grace is in Richard Foster's book, Celebration of Discipline. And he says in that, God gives us the disciplines of the spiritual life as a means of receiving His grace. The disciplines allow us to place ourselves before God so that He can transform us. So this is the time of the year that I begin to think about, what do I want to do better? What do I want to start doing, particularly in the area of my walk with God, the disciplines in my life, so that when the new year begins, I am off and running and doing a great job. I do that. I want to finish well, and I want to lay a good foundation for next year, because I want to live this way. And this is the heart of this today. And over the next quarter, then we'll look at those things. We'll kind of take them and talk about some of them, and perhaps find ways to apply them, and that kind of thing. That will be the text of Monday Matters for the next 3 months. But here's my goal for this last quarter, for next year, for the last chapter of my life. I want to live 4 ways. I want to live intentionally. I want to be a person that lives on purpose. I don't want to just let life come to me, whatever it is. I want to be following all after God. Last week I preached a sermon at our church. I was privileged to speak. I preached a sermon at our church about running after God. I want to be a person who is known for intentionally following God. I want to live life intentionally. The second thing, I want to live life inspirationally. Now, I don't imagine I'm going to make a huge impact, and I'm not going to change a lot of people. But those people that know me, I want them to be inspired. I have some people that inspire me. David Robertson, he's a friend of mine. He is as I have known him over the last 20 years, he has slowly been losing his sight until he is, for all practical purposes, legally blind now. And he is in Louisiana, spending a year learning how to live effectively as a non-sighted person. He inspires me. We'll talk about him learning Braille and walking through a town he's never been in before, learning how to walk and find his way around. There are people like that inspire me. Sam Riggleman, baseball coach, retired baseball coach, who has impacted men down through the years in ways that I cannot imagine. They inspire me. My two sons, they inspire me. I watch the way they live and their intentionality towards their family and towards God, and they inspire. I want to live an inspirational life. I want to live intentionally. I want to live inspirationally. I want to live instructionally. I think that's a word. Maybe I just instructed you by making up a word. I want to teach people things. I think the greatest value that I can give to my past experiences is to use them to teach other people. That's probably part of why we go through stuff, so that we can instruct the next generation or another group of people. And I want to live instructionally. I want to tell people, hey, not how I've always done it right, but how I have learned from the way I've done it wrong, even. I want to live intentionally. I want to live inspirationally. I want to live instructionally. And then here's the last. I want to live influentially. I want to influence. I want to shift. I don't imagine I'll make a big shift, but just a tiny shift. If I could shift the trajectory of the world in just a tiny, tiny way so that it is a little bit closer to being the place that God imagined it to be, I want to do that. I want to influence my friends, my coworkers, my family, of course, my church, my community. Even if it's just like throwing a pebble in a pond and the tiny little splash it makes, but then that ripple moves out and out and out and out. I want to live those ways. I want to live intentionally. I want to live inspirationally. I want to live instructionally. And I want to live influentially. And I do that by participating in the means of grace. John Wesley listed 4 means of grace: prayer, Bible study, communion, fasting, and fellowship. That's not all there are. There are more, but these seem to be the 5 key things. And so again, over the next 3 months, we'll talk about how to use those things, how to apply them to our lives so that we can live a life that is happier, healthier, and a little bit holier. Here's the neat thing. When we do that, not only do we receive God's grace, but we become a means of grace for others. Listen to this quote by Wesley. God has given us, wrong quote. Wesley said, "The means of grace are ways God works invisibly in disciples, hastening, strengthening, and confirming faith, so God's grace pervades them and through those disciples impacts other people." I want to experience God's grace, but I also want to allow other people to experience God's grace through me. So this week, I encourage you to begin thinking about how'd you like to end the year? How'd you like to finish this quarter? And what things do you want to put in place so that you can be a means of grace for other people in the coming days? Hebrews 4:15 and 16, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weakness, but who in every respect has been tempted as we are, and yet is without sin. Let us therefore with confidence approach the throne of grace. Let us and receive mercy to find help in our time of need." Means of grace. I want to see it and I want to be it. And I encourage you to do the same. Thanks for being a part of Monday Matters. I post something every day on Facebook and Instagram about this. And I'll try to write a blog towards the end of the week. I'm trying to be intentional about that. And I'll see you next Monday on Monday Matters. God bless you. Have a great week.